Okay, so factor and solve. Let's say I had a problem that was like, here, let me get a plain piece of paper. This looks better. X to the fourth equals, and then I'll just put 81. And then next to that, it'll give you a problem like this, and then next to that, it'll give you like a color like red. Okay, so it'll be something like this on your worksheet. It'll give you an equation, and it'll have a color next to it. So this equation here, x to the fourth equals 81, we need to factor it and solve it. So I would minus the 81 first and bring it over. So we have x to the fourth minus 81 equals 0. And then you need to factor it. This is actually called a difference of squares. That's called a difference of squares. I know that because it's subtraction. I know because of subtraction, and it's things that are perfect squares. Like there's a number that goes into 81 that's the same number. So x to the fourth, you just have to think of breaking it apart. Like x to the fourth is x to the second times x to the second. So that's how you start it off. You just go like that. X to the second, x to the second. And what times what makes 81? Yeah, so you could put plus 9 and minus 9. Okay? And then this, so I have x squared plus 9, okay? And then this x squared minus 9, that's another one of those difference of squares. It can factor one more time. Yeah, like x plus 3, x minus 3. Because 3 times 3 is 9. Positive 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Now it's all factored. So then you solve it. You equal these all to 0. X squared plus 9, you equal it to 0. X plus 3, equal it to 0. X minus 3, equal it to 0. You solve them all. You have these little equations then, and then you just solve them at the end.
That's a lot of steps for one answer.
Yep. So then you subtract 9, so you get x squared equals negative 9. Then you take the square root, so x equals plus and minus 3i. Because when you get negatives, that has an I in the answer. And then this one you subtract 3, so x equals negative 3. This one you add 3, x equals positive 3.
It's going to be like a positive 3, negative 3.
And yeah, so then you find on the picture, if there's a positive 3, you color it red. If there's a negative 3, you color it red. If there's an 3i, you color it red, or a negative 3i, you color it red, because they'll tell you a color. So it won't be, it's stuff you guys should know how to do. There's one similar to that. We could try, like I can show you one more. Let me try show you another one. Trying to give you an example so you know, like, okay, this is what my homework's going to be like. So here's another blank piece of paper. Let's show you another one. Okay, so now let's try one more. Like, okay, so again, factor and solve. Yeah, but the paper, the homework has 10 questions. So I know they take a while. So we're not, we're trying to just have like 10 of them. So it's not like super long. So let's say we have another one that said x to the third power minus 125 and equals 0. Let's say I had another one, and then it'll say a color behind it, like it'll say to color green. So you'll find the answers, and then those answers you color them green. So, okay, now this one has third power. Do you know what kind of problem this one is? Like I was telling you, the last one's called a difference of squares.
Difference of cubes.
Yeah, good job. This one's a difference of cubes. Subtraction, and these are third power things. Good job. So difference of cubes, we have that formula over on the sideboard. When it's difference of cubes, you have to think of like what's the cubed root of these numbers. Like what's the cubed root of 125?
5.
Yeah, it's 5. Like 5 times 5 is 25, and then 25 times 5 is 125. Good job. So if you break this one apart, it's kind of different. these difference of cubes ones, if you look on the sideboard, there's one that said x to the third minus 64, and you could kind of see how that one went. This one's similar to that, but it's a different number at the end. So it starts with x minus, and you just told me the cubed root of 25 was 5. Okay, then it goes in here. Then it's always the first term squared. It's just what x, it's just an x since it was single. You just put x squared. And then the middle term is you put the 5 and the x together. You like whatever these two things are, you like times them together. So it's just 5x. And then do you know what the last number is going to be?
25.
Yeah, it's just 5 squared. It's just 5 times 5 is 25. So now I got it factored because it's just based off that pattern that's on the board. So then you do x minus 5 equals 0 and solve that. And then this x squared plus 5x plus 25. That's the other. Okay, this is a trinomial, but it doesn't factor anymore. Like I know, usually on these difference of cubes and sum of cubes, this trinomial, it's one that doesn't factor, because if I look at it, there's nothing that times to make 25, but will add to 5. Because like 5 times 5 is 25, but that doesn't add up to 5. So I know I can't factor this one. So on the second part, you're going to have to use the quadratic formula. That's why we reviewed that last week. You have to use the quadratic formula to finish solving this one. And the quadratic formula was negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And yeah, I know these are long, but you got to know your formulas, and it comes up when you take your test in January. So yeah, to do this one, to finish it up, you'd have to do the quadratic formula on it. The answer for this is easy. This is 5. So one of the answers is x is 5.
And the other one is like x, no, it's like 5 plus 5, something like that.
Yeah, we'll have to do like negative 5 plus or minus, and then I'll plug in the numbers. It'd be like b squared, so 5 squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. So let's see. 5 squared is 25. 4 times 25 is 100. So it's 25 minus 100. So it'd be negative 75. You can do it on a calculator. I just did it quick in my head. Square root of 75. That would break into like 75. You just got to break it apart. Like 3 times 25. And 25 is 5 times 5. Yeah, so you were saying it was like 5i something. That was right. So it'll be 5i square root of 3 all over 2. And that's the answers. That's the other answers. That's 2 answers because one's plus and one's minus. So that counts for 2 answers. So yeah, you'll even see on here, you'll see some, like some of these have like I in the answer or something like that.
Are they all different color pieces? Does that make a different one too?
Yeah, they're different color pages. See, like this one has like stuff with 6i and stuff. You know, it'd be something like that. It would come out.
You just pick which one you want to do.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys have to use your factoring skills. You have to use your formulas like difference of cubes or sum of cubes or difference of squares. Figure out how to factor and solve these, and then color. Yeah, there's different oh yeah, and there is different coloring pages. Like there's a Christmas present one. There's this ornament one. You can kind of pick. There's a penguin one, a stocking one, and a gingerbread one. So you don't, yeah, you just pick one that you want to color.
I want the present. Which color?
Yeah, the present one's cool. And I have colors. I have like colored pencils.
Do we get to keep them?
I can give them back to you after I grade them. What kind do you want?
I have no idea yet.
Does it go with the penguins?
Present one looks kind of sick.
You want? Oh, let's see, penguin. Yeah. Here, I'll go over here. So there's different patterns, guys. You want a certain pattern to color? You can pick which one you want. There's present,
Sure, which one are you using?
stockings, penguin.
Yeah.
A penguin?
Yep, there's a penguin. one do you want?
What?
Stocking?
Oh,
Gingerbread?
you have to solve it. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yo, what the hell?
Same present when it's school. Ornaments.
Wait, actually, this is stocking.
Yeah, stocking one looks. There, no, we're going to do it for difficult.
No.
Yeah, which one has the easiest problem?
They're all the same problems.
Yeah, but photo map will do all of it.
Are you like
I bet photo map will do all of it.
Presents look cool.
I want the presents.
Throw on the presents. I have presents too. You want a present one? Yeah. They have different patterns. Anyone want a certain one? Stocking one? Yeah. You're fine.
Did you want a penguin?
Yeah, we got different patterns. They're all the same problems, you guys, on the other side. They're the same problems, they're just different colored pictures. Just like the pictures are just different. Problems are the same, just different patterns to color.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
hanging
that's
right
good.
here.
So the first one, I would divide everything by 2 first. That'd make it easier. Yeah, as you get started on it. So you have to remember about like greatest common factor. Yeah, so the first one, you gotta divide everything by 2. That'd be the first step. If you divide by 2, that'll make it easier to solve it. 34 divided by 2. Then factor at the rest. So you have to think of numbers that makes 72, but add up to negative 17. Yeah, so it's not too bad. And then you'll find the answers on the front and color them a certain color, whatever color your paper says. Red, I believe, for all of them. Yeah, so the problems are the same. It's just different patterns to color. Now I have colored pencils and I got a bunch of colored pencils and stuff. I can kind of share them around, obviously, but I do have colored pencils. So you can color it at home later. It doesn't matter, you know. Crayons. Colored pencils are probably better. Crayons just smell bad. I think. All that old wax and stuff.
I don't think I did number 3 right. Yeah, I just didn't finish it.
Okay, let's see. Let me stop this.